Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. If you can't already tell, I am sick. And I am unhappy. So I wanted to just get this done. Normally I don't really do stuff when I'm sick, especially when I sound like death. And when I think I have an upper respiratory infection, so bad. Not good. Yeah, but I just wanted to get this done. This will be, I think, my first real, like, sick commentary. So apologies that I sound awful, but I am definitely sick. And have been for just a couple of days. But I'm gonna put this video out and, like, one other one, and then I'm moving on to another game. I might come back and do more Orcs Must Die 2. I might not. There are no promises. But this is Endless. This is Endless Tunnels. And I'm going to 5 Skull it. Endless Tunnels was by no means difficult. I just mirrored traps on the left and mirrored them on the right. I used the grinders on the walls. I used haymakers. I put grinders in the middle pit to deal with anything that fell through down there. I used barricades to position them properly, scorchers and tar pits for supplementary damage. I used scavenger trinket for as much money as possible. The longer you go through an endless game, you stop getting money after every round and have to rely on just money from kills. That's why I went with the scavenger trinket. I didn't actually know that really at the time, but now I do. I have ice and lightning. Lightning for extra damage, for killing certain enemies quickly. Ice for just trapping them in my traps, using the blunderbuss as I always do. If you notice, I skipped to round 5. I'm going to show the first round and then every 5th round thereafter to make this manageable. I think that will probably work the best. I will get up to round 43. And then they break through my barricades because I guess I positioned them incorrectly. And that basically just completely dooms me at that point. But before then it was going pretty well. I still haven't gotten the reach level 50 achievement yet. I 5 skulled a number of Endless so far, but I haven't gotten the reach level 50 achievement, hopefully eventually. That was Mr. Moneybags. If you kill him, you get 1,200 gold, which is very helpful, especially when you're no longer getting gold when you're farther into Endless. I believe once you hit round 20 or so, you no longer get go breaks, and the rounds steadily, the breaks between rounds get shorter and shorter and shorter until they're on par with Nightmare, just like 3 seconds or so. Also, the waves of enemies get more and more intense. I will say Endless is actually quite fun, though it is definitely a big time commitment. On average, so far it's taken anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, and that's to hit level 40. Past that it would take even longer, but I usually crap out right around level 43 to 46. I don't think I've ever gotten past level 46. So, the grinders, I think, are still actually, and I've said they are spec'd to unjam for a few episodes, when they're actually spec'd for a bleed. I wanted to try the bleed. I think unjamming faster is better than the bleed. At least, kind of circumstantial, subjective evidence makes me think that. We're skipping to round 15 now. Again, just every 5 rounds. And there also are sappers in tunnels. On Endless, there's every enemy barring flyers, depending on the map. Some maps just aren't congruent to flyers, they have nowhere to really spawn. So only maps that normally would have flyers will have flyers, otherwise they won't. At least in my experience thus far. But they'll all have sappers, so if a map normally wouldn't have sappers, you gotta worry about sappers. So I was placing extra barricades to deal with sappers when they blow them up. I think, unfortunately, I'm not using reinforced. I'm using self-healing. I'm not totally sure on that. My other upgrades are all really standard. I've talked about them many times in previous episodes, so I don't really want to run through them all for the sake of saving my voice. But skipping ahead to wave 20, notice that I'm placing more and more grinders, more and more haymakers. I'm filling out the central area with scorchers, which will also flip them into the main pit, which then they'll get killed by grinders and minecarts. Nulls are a problem. There are Null Grenadiers. Null Grenadiers are far more annoying, in my opinion, than regular Null Hunters. And yeah, he just got knocked on the floor, finished him off. At this point, I've gotten most of the achievements in the game, barring a few of the co-op ones. I still haven't hit 50 on an endless. I still haven't gotten the get a combo of 10 achievement. I've tried to get it just a couple of times. I've definitely never gotten it naturally. I think just in a natural level, I've only ever gotten maybe like times 6, maybe more, but not totally sure. Times 10 seems pretty tough. I'm guessing you need to use environmental damage as well in that mix and time things really perfectly. Please don't give me tips as to how to get it, though. I would much prefer figuring it out myself. I've never looked at any guides, really, or tips for any of these levels. That takes a lot of the fun out of it for me. I like to just figure things out myself. Sometimes it takes me a while, but it's far more enjoyable for me. I might make guides and walkthroughs or whatever, but I don't actually look at guides and walkthroughs or whatever, ever. The only time I ever look at guides or walkthroughs is if it's some sort of... It's a game where I'm stuck on a puzzle for like 3 hours. And then I feel really, really bad. But eventually you just... I just give in because I have shit to do, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm also slowly working my way back. I place some Scorchers in case they do get knocked into the central pit to, again, help finish them off. I actually, it's funny, I believe, hit level 40 without losing any. Maybe not level 40, but very close without losing any, and then after that I just lose everything, really. Any rift points, I mean, basically. Endless is definitely a great way to get lots of skulls, by the way, if you're having trouble on the level and you want more skulls. Playing Endless, it'll give you a ton of extra. I'm not totally sure how many I got from this, but I believe it was quite a bit, close to 20. So, really solid. I did try placing barricades along these tar traps to force them near the grinders, but wound up getting destroyed by sappers a lot faster, so I chose to not do that again. It probably isn't by any means the best strategy you can use. I've only tried this. I think this is the second time. Or no, this is the first time. The only other Endless I had tried was Precipice. Yeah, this is the first time I'm trying it. And I basically one-shot it to 5 skulls. Would have liked to have gotten 50 to around 50, but I have a feeling I will get that eventually. It'll just depend greatly on the level. Some levels I think are going to be way easier to get to round 50 on wave 50 than others. But yeah, round 35. Again, apologies for my voice. I have a feeling that for some people when they're sick, they get the sexy sick voice. I don't think I get the sexy sick voice. I think I just sound like death. So yeah, I have a sore throat and just like an upper respiratory infection. Haven't gone to the doctor yet. I've only had it for a couple days, but I might. I don't know. Thankfully, my girlfriend's going to come over and doctor me, so that should be nice. Despite my objections. So, this round is already being finished up. There aren't a lot of heavy ogres. Once you hit round 40, I think that's when a lot of the heavy ogres started coming around. A big problem also is just Shaman, the Goblin Shaman, because it'll take you so long to kill a Mountain Troll or a heavy ogre or whatever, and then if they're behind them, they'll just res them. Which is quite a problem if they're all the way through your maze of traps already. And yeah, another way, you can get money from killing enemies, you can get money from ogres that drop money, from the Scavenger Trinket, and from using the on-use and just the coins that regular orcs drop. But at this point, I'm no longer getting money from just finishing waves, which makes things a lot more difficult, because you really do, all the way up to level 40 and beyond, need to constantly build more traps to finish enemies off. You start facing lots and lots of heavy ogres and mountain trolls and earth lords and everything else, and Mr. Moneybags is running around as well. And yeah, I wanted to make sure that nobody got through, because I thought it would be kind of funny if I managed to get to level 40 without actually losing anybody, which is not necessary to 5 skull. The only thing you need to do to 5 skull these endless levels is hit level 40. You can lose any number of rift points until you've lost all of them, then you just lose, obviously. You can take as long as you want on the go breaks. Time is not of the essence by any means. So take your time, figure out your strategy. The most important thing is just having a good trap strategy, because you'll never be able to kill everything yourself. There's far too many enemies. Boot to the head. Okay, my apologies. I didn't lose on wave 43, I lost on wave 44. Wave 43 was the last wave I completed successfully. This is the wave I lost on, and this is where they destroy my barricades. I'm out of money to replace them, which is a serious problem, and there's just an absolute ton of heavy ogres and Gnaw Grenadiers, and it just all overwhelms me. And basically what just completely seals my fate is the fact that they destroy my walls, because they're not going past my grinders. My grinders are a gigantic source of my damage. And it's right here I realize that it's basically over. There's really nothing I can do. There's way too many gnolls. I don't have enough traps positioned here. I try to use the boulder trap, but there's just really nothing I can do here. Those walls were very, very important. I'm out of mana. Trinkets are on cooldown. Mana Rage is on cooldown. The Grenadiers are blowing me up. I'm trying to lure the Ogre away without dying in the process, which is a task in and of itself. There's another heavy one. There's a Goblin Shaman that's rezzing guys. And unfortunately, I just can't put out enough damage because... And I can't freeze them repeatedly because I just don't have enough mana. And yeah, on the last couple waves, right after wave 40 or so, I started losing points. And yeah. Unfortunately, he killed me at the last second. And I lost. I could have won there if he just hadn't killed me. If I killed him, the other ogre would have only taken 5 points, but failure. 5 skulls. Almost a million score. I'm sure you can do way better than I did. And yeah, I got 20 bonus skulls, plus the 5 skulls, so 25 skulls, so a lot of skulls. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Please like the video if you liked it. Please sub if you want to see more. Leave comments and feedback and ask questions, and I'll get back to you. Again, I apologize that I sound awful, but I wanted to get this done. I will be moving on to a new game in about 2 days. Have a good one, guys.